There we are. So today we're going to be going over a full WISSOTA race night with schedule and classes, MRP Online Tickets, and Dropship Apparel. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. You can hit Alt and H at any time to bring up the chat window. I'll be monitoring that, answering any questions that you have about that. At any time, doesn't have to be about anything that I'm going over in particular. It could be about any questions or anything you want to see. Feel free to ask that. I'll also have a spot where I'll be answering all the questions towards the end of the call here tonight. I have muted everybody, and the chat window is the only way really that you're going to be able to ask those questions. And the last thing for y'all is stay tuned towards the end. I will be posting a link to a survey. You fill out that survey, you're going to be entered into a drawing to receive $200 off for next year's subscription. So for 2020, $200 off. So be out on the lookout for that. So let's get started. So I'm going to start here with schedule and classes first, then we'll go over race night here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go add a season really quick. And to do that, I'm going to go to season management right here. And then I'm going to go into the configuration. It's going to have this right here for us. I'll go back a bit. Kind of got ahead of myself, huh? It's going to have this right here if we've already created one with our upcoming and recent events. So recent are ones that have happened. These are ones that are going to happen here. You can see that we do have an event that's going to be coming up. Let's click on events, or let's click on configuration rather. We can see how we did this. So I'm a track. I have my track right here. I also have my series available. I only have one traveling series that's going to be available, and that's going to be your favorite series. And it's going to have that class down here. When I add one by adding a series, I have all the ones that I've raced in the past. I also can search for one. All series in the system have a class that's associated with them. So in this case, it was Sport Compact. And when I add it, it's going to ask if I want to add that class to my class list. You can see it's right there. I'm also able to add more classes here. So when I hit add classes, we can see all of our other classes and our generic. We have a generic class. That's one I just used in the past. I have sanctioned classes right here. For WISSOTA, you can see here's the ones that they would use. I have some of them already. If you have other sanctions, you can see that here. If you have one that's not on this list, that's cool too. You're able to actually add that right here. So if I wanted to add a modified, let's go with a limited sport mod, I could add that right here. I can also go here to manage classes to add the name overrides. So for WISSOTA classes, for example, they'll have some name overrides. So if I had WISSOTA late models, I can put that in here instead of my MRP late models. Okay, we're going to make sure, if you do have a series too, you don't need to name override it. So I don't have to replace these Sport Compacts to say your favorite series Sport Compact, because when I add that series in to my schedule on that date with that class, it's going to add that in. So it'll say your favorite series Sport Compact for me. It won't, if we add that in, it'll just kind of double itself up. So let's go down to events. Here we have the ability to create some schedules. So I actually have a couple. So I have a schedule that I've made just for events in January, and I also have one for this year. Let's go to that one for this year. Let's add some events. So all the ones in gray are the ones that we've done already. They're events that are on the schedule. Let's add some for this last week here in March. Click next. All the classes that I have on that class list are set, so we can add those. Let's add the Sport Compact here. Let's put in a name. a little early from Labor Day, but put that in there. So we're going to want a name for all of these. Otherwise, it's just going to default to 325 at your favorite track. We want something that's going to attract a lot of people, right? Every day is, we like to say that every day is a special event. So we want to make sure we have something here. So I'm going to say that today is bike night. You can do anything you'd like there. We also can add in additional details, add in when pits open, gates open, hot laps, and when racing starts. I won't say it starts at 7:35. We'll hit next, and it's going to save a lot of this for me. So it's going to try to save as much time as possible. So if I had kind of my weekly racers were these events, we have that. We're just able to add that event and details here. If I made a mistake and I did not mean to add that, I can always just discard this right here and discard it. It's gone. And we're actually now able to view that right here. We can see that bike nights right there. We're also able to add things on here if we'd like. So if I need to change up anything, add more for the description, add a series. So in this case, I'm going to want to add that series. So you can see that the series here does it. For a sanction, so for WISSOTA, they'll go in and they'll manually approve all of that. So you don't need to worry about this. The folks at WISSOTA will get all of those, your schedule, and based on when your agreement is with them, they'll sanction the classes as necessary. We can also add tickets from here too. I highly recommend that you add tickets to as much as you can for a couple of reasons. One, it is one of the rewards that we have for this year for 2019. The rewards that we have, so if you use MRP Live, that's the transponder integration, if you use our apparel, or if you use online tickets, each one of those has a goal attached to it. If you hit each one of those goals, each one is worth 50. You hit all of the goals that we have available, we'll throw in an extra 100. You can get $250 off next year's subscription doing that. Which, you know, just throwing out some hints there. If you won from the survey that we have out, if you won that, those do stack. So you could end up getting all of that off for next year's subscription. So just something to think about, that you do have that option there for next year. So with this too, we also can make ticket sales here. We get 100% of the ticket sales back. So if you get $10 a ticket, you will get that $10 a ticket that you sell. We don't take anything out of your cut for the tickets here. We can actually put in that price for the tickets. So let's say the $10. We're also able to put in a pre-sale price. So let's say for this event, if you buy within the first 3 days, if you buy over this weekend, I'm going to actually make it a little bit better. You get, oh, let's get rid of the zero there. We're going to go for, you can save $2.50. So we can actually create that. We're also able to put in as many of these different types here. So you can see we have general admission. We're able to rename that. So if you had sections, for example, let's say section A, we could actually put in different prices for different spots that they'll be sitting at. We also can do pit passes, which again, I highly recommend you do that as well. So the drivers can get those ahead of time. Again, my numbers that I have here, purely suggestions. I'm just sort of making them up here, but you do have that option. We're also able to set if we want to put them in as a rain check, which means we'll just accept that ticket. If it doesn't rain out, we'll accept it at a different event, or we could refund it, which just essentially means we'll just give the funds back. We handle all of those. I'll show you where we would go at the end to take care of that. And we would just essentially add this in, and we'd be good to go. So let's do that. Add my event. Oh, gotta add some availability here. So we also can add in. I think I'm missing a price there. There we go. So we can add in availability for those pre-sales. So if we don't want to sell, have 1,000 people buy them. I mean, that's sort of a good problem, huh? We could add them in. We'll be able to manage that right there. So Got them in. We're also able to share this right from here to Facebook and Twitter. Highly, again, recommend you do that too. The more people that know that you're doing that, the more that you share that out, the better. You want to make sure as many people as possible do, and then Facebook and Twitter right from here. That's a huge way to do that, and not just once. Right? Make sure you do that multiple times, especially for a big event. Make sure that they know that how to do that. So I got a question here about about some of the different fees available. So there is a $1.90 per ticket fee that the fan would have to pay. And then there's also a subtotal that's based on the card that's used. Generally, it's only going to be a couple bucks, though, per ticket. And you can kind of play around there. You also have the coupons here to help with that, too. So you can add a coupon for that. So we can work with an area business or a sponsor and have them be sort of the voucher. Because every fan that buys a ticket will get a voucher saying what they bought. So they have that. You kind of double check it, make sure that it's double check it with your list here that you'll have for sold tickets. Or you can scan it with this redeem window, and then you hand them their tickets and they are good to go. We also make it active or inactive. I'm going to disable this since mine isn't a real racetrack. I don't want to have anybody actually buying those on me. Again, we get to share this right from here, this ticket window. It's going to be the same ticket window, by the way, where I just went, click that edit button. You'll see all of them right here. All of my tickets will go by disabled here. We're also able, at the end of the night, we're able to go in here, hit edit ticket status. There's a form that we'll need from you. Basically lets us know where you'd want funds deposited. So when you fill that out, it has a phone number on it. Make sure it is a phone number that can get text messages so that we can text you that code so we can verify that it is you. You say that the event ran as planned, and then you get the funds into your account the following Tuesday. Pretty awesome thing you got going there. And then the other thing I'll be showing here too, right along with the tickets, is the apparel program that we have. So if we go to MyRacePass.com, I'm going to show us a couple of things here. So one's going to be the marketplace. And then we have our shirts here too. So WISSOTA tracks too, keep in mind that you guys, for being part of WISSOTA, you do get a level 1 shirt as part of the plan. So be sure to reach out to us. We'll get you set up here. But we have a couple different options when it comes to our apparel. So you have the level 1 and the level 2. The level 1 has these designs here that you get to select, and we'll match that up with your track's specific style. So match up the logos, change out the cars to be cars that you guys are racing there. Like this one says Saturday Night Thunder. We can change that to Friday if you race Fridays. That's totally fine. And you choose one of these, and you're able to put that up onto the marketplace and up onto your website. And if you have a MyRacePass website, we'll just do that for you. You can sell these. You put the prices in on these, and then you make the profit for each one that you sell. And then here on the marketplace, you actually get your own store here too. So you actually can find tracks that we have here in the system. And find them and see the shirts that they have available. You also can see that in our merchandise that we do have those tracks here. So I'm just gonna find one, kind of pick on them here, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. So we'll use Golden Triangle here as an example. You have a variety of different colors here and options. So I've just been saying shirts. You actually get a lot more than that here. We actually create them and send them out too, so you don't have to worry about minimum orders or anything there. And if you have questions or want to get started on that, let me know here. We can get you rocking and rolling. See all of our different size options available. that we would want to go with. Let's go with a hoodie. We want that to be 3X and orange. Yeah, just that easy. So those are all things that we have there for apparel options and for tickets. Both of those two, those are available for the rewards program that we have. So if you sell 300 tickets, you will get that $50. You sell 50 apparel items, you get another $50 plus what you're making off of those. So definitely want to do that. So we're going to go into race management here. We're going to do the WISSOTA full race night. If you do have any questions about anything, feel free to go through. Alt and H is the spot to do that. This one, I didn't specify we're using a transponder, so I'm just going to pretend we don't have transponders here at this track and go through there. But if you have any questions about those, don't be afraid to ask. Alt and H is the place to do that. We're going to get going here very soon. Sorry, I just wanted to take a quick drink of water. So based on how I created my schedule from earlier, I have my schedule based on how I created that schedule from earlier. When you saw me do that, I actually have all of my classes listed out here, and it wants to know what we're going to do about pill draw and what we want to do about transponders. So today I'm going to be using that. I'm going to use the fast check-in process that we have available, and then I'm going to say no transponders for now. I'm able to save these as a default. You don't need to come back here every single time. Once you kind of find the one that you're going to be using every week, you can just save it here. But I'm going to be going over everything, just kind of pretending it's the first time we're doing this, so that way we're kind of on a clean slate, if you will. So we have a couple options. We could do no pill draw. We could do the fast check-in, where it's just going to pick a number for me automatically. We could draw a number before we pick a driver. We can draw a number after we pick a driver, or we could enter in a number before or after we pick a driver. The choices are ours. And we get to pick our maximum pill here. If we're drawing them, so if we wanted to do 1,005, we could do that. We could do 500. I think it's gonna get a little mad if I do anything bigger. We also can rebase the pill here, so we can set a new low number. So if I wanted it to be 250, 250 would be the best number. 249 would be the worst. So we're not using transponders, but I'm going to show this MRP Live button. This would be where we would connect everything with our transponder system. So we could use MRP Live right here. We can download it. Essentially, what this will do, and I can show it off here if you all request it, if it's by popular demand. Alt and H would be the spot to do that. Essentially, we'll take the lineups options that we've put into MyRacePass, put that into the transponder system. We'll run the race and then put those results from the transponder back into MyRacePass. We can actually view that timing right from here as well. So we're going to go move right down, moving right along. And right here, we have a list of all of our drivers in this class. So I know this isn't a WISSOTA class, but we can just pretend here for a bit. But you will have your list of drivers. And also, if this was a sanctioned event, it'll show off if they have a license or not. So it'll show right here if they do have a license. If they don't have a license and this is a sanctioned event, it will tell you. You'll have a red bar. It's going to be very obvious that they have that there. So be on the lookout for that. You can wave them through, get them a temporary if you'd like, but the folks there at WISSOTA will be monitoring that, as needed, kind of checking up on things. So it will show that information off. And I know A lot of you have, this isn't your first year doing this, so you know kind of where it's going, but you never know. I just like to like to say all that. So we have our driver here. I just picked him off the list there, but we have our driver. Looks like his default number is 02. I drew a number for him. It's 225 is what it looks like it drew for him. We have his owner right here. Looks like his mom's getting the money. We have it set so that by default, his mom's just going to be the owner of that team. The payout goes to them. We also can see his age, that he has claimed a profile in MyRacePass, and we'll go over that in just a bit. We have his address on file. Looks like we got that from when he did this registration right here. So drivers can register online. That would be in that season management over here. We can set that up right there. The last thing we have here is the lineup override. So we're actually able to set them to go to the back of all heats or of all races. So if this driver right here just did not feel comfortable starting in starting where he's going to start, we can move him to the back. Or if he showed up late, or if you just don't like him, you know, I don't mind. You can do you. We're going to check him in here, and he is checked in. So I just picked him out of the list. We also can filter him out here. We can filter by first and last name or by car number. So if we wanted to do that, we have them. So we can click on them, find their information again, and add them in. But that's not the only way we can enter in drivers. So other ways that we can enter in drivers is to use the search. So let's say we find a driver right here. He is just not in here. We're looking for Bruce Wayne. He's just not there. But we can search for him here. We'll be able to find him up here. What I would recommend if you're doing that, though, make sure you're searching for last name first and using the filter first. This filter is going to make sure you're using all of your same drivers. So you're going to want to make sure you're doing that. And then also search by the last name here too. We're going to make sure that we don't have any things where the drivers are going by sort of a nickname. You're able to find that sort of Mark, Marcus, John, Jonathan, that kind of thing. Duplicating drivers isn't the end of the world. We can definitely fix them, but it will throw off their national points, throw off any averages. It'll confuse a driver too, that their points are just separated out. So we want to avoid doing that, and just being diligent right here. We'll do that. If we need to create a brand new driver, we can. If they don't show up here on this search, but just make sure when they do that, it's going to ask for a hometown. Hometown is one of the things that we use to as sort of a check. So if you tried to create another Biff Beef Senior, and geez, from Obo, I want to say this is, I don't know which state. It's not a state. It's I think it's a province. But if you wanted to create it from here, it will stop it if they have the exact same name, exact same hometown. So that's some of the checks that we do there to make sure that we're good to go there. Other ways we can enter in drivers, we could import from a previous race. So if I wanted to import right here, we could import from yesterday's show if I wanted to copy all of them over. I can also copy over pill numbers if I want. I'm going to do one and import them. And when it imports, there we are. This would be that draw window. If I did have my drivers draw for me, we could do that. Another option that we have is the scan barcode right here. So with the scan barcode, if we have a driver that has claimed their profile on the MyRacePass app, they're going to be they have a spot there for a hard card, and you're actually able to, with that hard card, scan them in right from their phone. Also, WISSOTA will be, as part of their license, giving them a hard card, which is about the size of a credit card, has a barcode on the back of it, but they do have the app option available. So I do highly recommend it. Claiming a profile is free for a driver to do, lets them share their photos, their news, their results, quite a bit there. They get to share with them. Plus, giving them on the app there, because there are drivers who would lose a card, but have a lot harder time losing a phone. So they have that option there. Last way we have to enter in off drivers, here's the speed entry button. And what this will do is, as long as I don't have a duplicate car number or a duplicate transponder number, which I'm not using transponders, not a problem. It's going to just check people in. And there we go. So I'm just going to be using 10 drivers today, but we could use more than that if we want to. I've personally done events with 800 people. Yeah, so we can do a wide variety. I'm just going to do 10 today just to keep it pretty straightforward. So there we are. A question about date of births, using that as verification. I can certainly pitch that to the team, though you could still have someone with the same date of birth and same hometown. So there's not going to be sort of a silver bullet, but in general, we had 300 racetracks each racing and kind of using that. It's still not a very common occurrence to have a driver that has exactly the same name and exactly the same hometown. I have a question about if drivers have to receive an email from the track to claim their profile. No, drivers can actually claim their profile on their own if they go to MyRacePass.com. I'll get this loaded up here. They're actually able to search right here when they get to MyRacePass.com. So pull this up here. And they can actually search for themselves. All my drivers are here. If you want to follow along on their progress, you can. But they're actually able to find their profile. I've claimed all of them, but down here towards the bottom, it'll have a spot for them to claim their profile. Right there. So they don't have to receive an email or anything from the track to do that. Go right ahead with that. Well, great questions. If you have a question of your own that you'd like to ask, Alt and H is the spot to do that. Be answering any questions here as they come up. If I don't get to your question, I do see it. I will just be answering them. Either I'll wait till the end or wait till it's a spot that kind of correlates to what we're talking about right now. So we're going to move right along into the races tab right over here. So we have a previous races setup. We can actually copy over how we've done races in the past. So it'll copy over their the names of them there, the sponsors that we put in the laps, the transfers, everything. We'll copy that over. It goes 50 events back, so you can actually see that I have a ton of different events by this class. Let's enter it in manually though. For me, I will just do one heat and one A feature. I could do more than that if I wanted to. I could do features, heats, dashes, qualifying specials, and hot laps. Go all the way down to a Z feature if I wanted to. I also can put in the laps, how many go to tech for each race. We'll hit add. And the main thing we're going to be interested in here is the transfer options. So it's going to ask who's moving on to the next step. So what our next step for us is just our A feature. So I'm going to say everyone's moving per race here. So with most WISSOTA lineups, we're going to be using this per race. It's going to take out of every single race. So right now, For example, we set 8 per race. That'll give us 16 drivers, 8 from 1, 8 from 2. From group would be for passing points, and that would get us 8 overall. But I'm not going to do that. We're just going to do 8, the best. We're going to take the top everyone. So every single driver from our heat, we're going to send them over. We also can add in our sponsors right here, and we can add drivers per row. It's going to default to 2 in pretty much every scenario. For our lineup, we can go 1, 2, or 3. Qualifying, if you ever do qualifying, it will go to 1, and hot laps do as well. We'll go 1 wide. So we'll go right down here into our lineups. We certainly could just create our lineup right here. Just click on how we want them to go, X them and move them. But a faster way to do that would be to click this Calculate Lineups button. And then I have my WISSOTA Heat option right here. The first time that you do this ever, it will want you to go where the skier is. This, you can actually see all of the different lineup options that we have in the system. And I've picked the ones that I'm more likely to use doing demonstrations. You can see that we have a lot of different options available there. And with that, we just hit WISSOTA Heat, Heats for WISSOTA, calculate that out, has that right here. And then we want to know how is it calculated. We can click on it, and it's going to give us how is this calculated. So it's going to show us here what everybody drew and why it put people into that order. If I need to move people around, I can. I can just click and drag them where they need to go. I can also move them from one heat race to another. So I can move him all the way back. When I saved there, that actually updates the MyRacePass app. If you have a website through MyRacePass, it'll update the website right along with it. We can share this to Facebook and Twitter right here. And we can do quite a bit here too with that. Another option that we have here is the lineup monitor. So showing that off here in the tools. You can actually see this lineup monitor. If I leave this open on a different one here, so this lineup monitor will actually keep the lineups that we create in MyRacePass. It'll actually put those here, show them. We can put this in the pits on a screen. And as I put in results, it'll move those away. So I have a question here about the difference between a WISSOTA heat and a heat from Pildra. Technically, there isn't one. They are. This is just a nice guideline for you to use. You can use both interchangeably, actually. So it'll actually just do straight up from Pildra. This is to just so that you know what you need to do as a sanction. We wanted to make it very clear what your sanction required you to do for your lineups, so that there wasn't any confusion there. Then the naming was consistent. So you can use either or. We'll go down to results now. So inside our results, we have a couple ways of adding them. So I can enter the car numbers down here towards the bottom. So I enter in the car numbers and hit enter. There are some people who are way faster at this than I am. I have never been the best at this sort of thing, but I can just enter in how they finished. And then when I have all of my results in, I can enter in if they did not finish, did not start, were disqualified, were black flagged. And we're not going to use passing points. You don't really ever have to worry about it, but we have a no passing point option right here. We also can hit the share button, again, share to Facebook and Twitter. Anytime you see this sort of icon here, that's going to be what that's for. As soon as I hit save as completed, it's going to save those, it'll update on our website that we have through MyRacePass. If we have one of those, we also can update. It'll update on the MyRacePass app too. So let's save that as completed. It's ready to go. Let's say we got back from tech and we actually heard that Gary Grouse was too light on the scales. We can actually click that DQ and we'll hit save. Yep, the B feature one will. But the WISSOTA heats, the heats ones are the heat from Pildra. We had a nice point there that the B features do actually list out that they are WISSOTA B features, and they'll show there. All the lineups there are going to be based on the rulebook. And like I said, we just did that so that it was easy for people to find for WISSOTA. But in that one case for the heat, it is kind of interchangeable there between the rules. So that is a good point there. We'll go right up to our lineup next, and we're going to calculate our A feature. So you can see that we're going back to the lineup monitor. I did move that out of the way because I did put in results for that lineup. But I could. Again, we have our opening night feature. So let's show that one off, and then I'll do the 3-week point average. So if I do the opening night feature, I do have my option to redraw here, and I can enter in the numbers manually or have them redraw one at a time, or do it all at once so we can auto redraw. And I'll keep track of all of those redraws there. You can see those numbers in the corner. So that would be for opening night. I'm going to discard my changes. Well, I'm going to save these changes, get rid of everything, and we're going to start over. We also have the 3-week point average, which can calculate that. And then our drivers that don't, we'll keep track of it. And we can see our average right here. We need to see that. Also, if you need to see your point average, we have that point average report here. So this actually breaks it down more for us. I'm just going to go by our classes here. So you actually can see all that. We're able to export this as well into Excel or as a PDF if we need. And if I needed to save more paper, we could put in the small right here. We have that option. Print them off, and they're good to go. So the last way we can enter in results, and we'll do that right over here. So we'll enter in our results. We can just click on them. They finished. And I just kind of mixed them up here. And save it. And again, it's going to be moving all those out of the lineup monitor. As soon as it saves, it's going to move it out of that way. Updates everywhere. So on the MyRacePass app, it'll be updated. You can get it to update on your website. If you have a website through MyRacePass, it'll do that for you automatically. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Alt and H, and that'll be the spot we'd go to do that. We're going to be doing points and pay here next, but if you do have any questions about anything that we've done thus far, or if there's anything you'd like to see me cover, feel free to ask those. Alt and H is the spot. I'll be doing that. We're going to be doing our points and pay now. So go down to points/pay and add a points/pay group. Now, before the night started, I actually added in my different points and pay that I'm going to be using. So I do have WISSOTA as a global preset. And I do have pay scheme, so let's just use this special pay scheme. We're going to apply this to competitors because we are doing that for the driver. We're going to click Add. And based on the WISSOTA point scheme and our pay scheme that we used, which I think mine didn't have any pay, so we'll go in and take a look at it. It's going to give them all those here, and it's going to do that based on that rule book. So we got rid of the point schemes. So you can see we do have a WISSOTA point scheme. That's going to be right here, global preset. So we have both the ones that they'd used from 2017 and the ones that they switched to now. So we have both if you need them. You can add that in. That goes directly based off of the WISSOTA rules there. So you can double check this if you'd like. You also can create a pay scheme, which I'm going to do right now. Just kind of update some of the things I've done here. I'm going to remove some of these, this extra pay scheme here. We don't need it. So we have our special pay. That's the one I needed to use. We're going to add a new one though, and I'll show you how to recalculate points if we need to do that. So let's put this in as webinar pay. We're going to add a scheme. And this is going to be what it looks like when what it's going to want us to create a new one. So it's going to want to be as helpful as possible. Ask if we want to copy anything over. I don't want to do that right now, but I'm going to add a breakdown. So we're going to select what race it's for. For me, I just want to be it for my A feature. We'll put in our pay. So let's say first place gets $520, and we decrease it by 20. So if I hit add rows, what it's going to do right here, it's going to have the first place get 520, and it's going to go down by 20 every row. And that's just going to save us time. But we're not like locked into this by any means. If it changes, we could do that. So we could just say this is 410, this is 102, 50, and 50. I'm just completely making up the numbers as we go along here. But you could add all of these in here individually if we wanted to. We also can add more positions here if we wanted as well. So I don't have to stop at 10. I could add in 20, which means it's going to go to 30 spots. And we can put in just 50. And if we do that, then the next few rows are just going to be $50. Hit save. And we have our pay scheme here. We also can put in show up pay or non-start pay too. So if we wanted anyone to just get 20, we could save it. But let's say we wanted anybody that made it to the A feature to not receive that pay. We actually can click over here, and you see here, will not receive show up points. So in this case, it also means pay. So now that we've created this, let's go in here and correct the zeroed out here because I hit a pay scheme instead. So we can actually hit recalculate over here, and we're going to keep our same point scheme. We're just going to pick a different pay scheme. We're going to use webinar pay. We'll hit calculate, and it's going to update based on what we just put on that scheme. So it's going to work off of a snapshot, so to speak, of what just happened right there. We can adjust this here now if we wanted to. So let's say we just really like this guy. We'll give him an extra 20 points. That would be against the rules. Let's not do that. Let's give him an extra 20 bucks though. We can do quite a bit here. We can adjust points and pay here. If need be, you have that option. So we'll save that. It's going to keep our update of what we've done. We're also able to create payments down here. We can export this to the desktop version of QuickBooks. We can print a report right here. We're also able to create checks. So let's create the checks first. I always make up a check number. You'll have a real one. And you can see this right here. My drivers, some of these drivers actually do have hometowns and addresses, so I'd actually put those in on those checks. We also have a variety of other reports here too. I know I showed off the WISSOTA point average report. We also have the points by race report. And from here, we can customize this one out quite a bit. So if I just wanted to show the pay here that they received on that race, I could. We also can minimize. If we just wanted to focus on just this one race, we can. We also can sort it out by just our A feature races. kind of one per page there. We have a variety of different transponder reports, lineup reports. So you have a lot of different options there when it comes to the different reports that you're going to be doing and we're going to need in the system. These are just the reports too for just sort of right here, right now, sort of the today reports. But if you need the big picture reports, we're going to go right here into reports, and those are going to give us sort of the season overview reports. So you can see all of our different options that we have available there. So I'm going to open it up for questions. I'm going to be going through some other things here too, but if you have any questions, now would be the time to ask them. Alt and H is the spot to do that. I'm going to leave it open for questions here as long as I need. Answering anything about anything that you saw, anything you didn't see me do, we can get something going. So we have a question. We have a driver that was registered twice, so it looks like they completed one twice. You want to get the second one out. There isn't a way right now to remove that second driver. However, it doesn't really change anything. So if you don't accept that registration that he has there, even if you did accept it, it won't change anything because it won't create a duplicate or anything like that. So you can go in here and just ignore that driver. Like I'm ignoring this one to confirm. But if you confirmed it twice, or like Chuck Brown Jr. hit the button too many times, for example, or just forgot he did it and tried to do it again, if you confirm both of them, it won't create a duplicate or anything like that. That was a good question. Any other questions? Alt and H, the spot to do that. Going over lot here, this is that registration screen. I've actually gone in and have a couple registrations for all of my classes. These are going to be yearly registrations, but we're not, these are ones that'll keep throughout the seasons, but we can also add in an event registration or a non-racing event registration. So a lot of different options there as far as different registrations you want. For a single event registration, this would be more for like a big show, and you know that you're going to have drivers that aren't going to be racing again there. So it's not going to show all on your entry list. If you do want to, another place here that you're probably aware of, it's going to be that sandbox mode. So you can go into the sandbox mode, and it's going to have this lovely blue color available on it. So you're going to see this blue color here. That's going to be your spot to play around with adding things into the system. So you can add as much here as you want without anything sharing out to the public. So kind of go wild, get ready to train on that. So we do have that option here. So I do recommend just kind of preparing, getting set, getting ready to go on that sandbox mode. Good questions coming in. If you do have any more questions, Alt and H is the spot to do that. Again, leaving it open for questions here for the next little bit. As well, also, in addition to the sandbox mode, you do have the option here for the help desk right up here. So you also have our help videos, which will have the tutorial videos that we've done in the past, plus past webinars that I've done. That'll take you to our YouTube channel. And also the help and support goes over the articles. We write those. We actually update those pretty soon after after things created. It's going to be a help desk article on it. It's rolled out pretty well, just right along with it. So that's an option that you do have there. So let me know if you have any questions here. Again, Alt and H is the spot to do that. To ask any questions, I'm going to take a quick drink of water. And yep. So also, by the way, I'm going to be posting the link here into the chat for that survey. Again, feel free to fill out that survey. Let us know what we could be doing, what I could be going over more, what you liked, what you didn't like. It's a real quick survey. Helps us out a great deal. So fill that out. You'll be entered into a drawing to go over, drawing here towards the end of the month for $200 off next subscription. Also, Josh will be in, my boss, Josh will be in Jamestown this weekend in person for WISSOTA training on Saturday. Feel free to go in, talk to him if you'd like. He's great to work with, and I'm not just saying that because he's on this call. No, he's an awesome guy. He knows quite a bit. So feel free, if you're in the area this Saturday, you can you can do that. We also have right here, by the way, WISSOTA 100 tickets too. If you want to see another event, the WISSOTA 100 is actually on the MyRacePass for online tickets, so you can kind of see what they're doing as well. One sec here. So you can actually see all of those events. You can get your Challenge Series shirts in the past and also the tickets here. So very cool. Josh is in on the chat there. But feel free, and if you have any questions on tickets, again, feel free to let us know. We're happy to help get you set up on that. It is a great thing that you can get going there. It's just another way to help connect with folks there. So, also, if you do want to, yep, and again, feel free to fill out that survey. I'm gonna put that in here again too, because I know we're gonna have more questions and things coming in. But feel free to fill that out. Lets me know, what's working for you. Ultimately, this is going to be more for you than it is for me. So feel free to let us know there. I'm going to be doing another one of these webinars again tomorrow. I'm going to get pulled up here. Let's see what we're going to be doing for tomorrow. We're also going to be announcing more of these webinars here in the future. We're going to be doing those throughout the month of March. But tomorrow, a bit of a time change for us. We're going to be doing this at 12:30. So that'll be a lunch call there, lunch webinar. We're going to be doing season management, online tickets, and dropship apparel again. So a lot of that. And tomorrow we will be announcing the times for the last 2 weeks of March too. So, we got that there. So feel free, again, answering any questions that you have. Alt and H, spot to do that. Going over everything there as well. We'll leave it open for the next few minutes. And again, if you're in the area for Jamestown, you can speak to Josh, my boss. You'll know him. He's the big guy with the red hair. Hard to miss. We'll be going over everything too. And then I'll be going over season management, online tickets, and dropship apparel tomorrow, right at 12:30. You can view that live, or hey, if you'd like to, you can go into the help video section right here. We have that. It's a whole playlist if you'd like to go back and watch any of those. We do have them all here on the YouTube channel. It's going to be right here, the 2019 webinars. So you can watch any of those. I've put in what they've gone over right in on that description. So you'll be able to find this one as well there. I'm going to be adding all that in. So we do have those options available. So again, I'm going to put that that survey right there, or answer in any questions right now, but here's that survey. Feel free to fill that out and get entered into the drawing for $200 off for next year's subscription. Be a great thing. I have not ran into a person yet who would not like $200 to save $200. So I'm just saying. All right. Well, I think that's almost out of time here. Again, looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow at 12:30. If you do have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach us at support@myracepass.com, or feel free to reach out to me direct. I know some of you do have my email, so I don't mind answering questions that way as well. And if you be happy to help out with anything. Hope you have a great season, great, great rest of the day. Have a good one. Good night, everybody.